George Michael, my first real love ended in tragedy. How George Michael's romantic life was tormented from the start. In a rare interview in 2007, the tragic superstar revealed he had only had 3 true loves, the first of which ended in tragedy in his late 20s. From drug use and clashes with the law to cruising for sex with strangers, George Michael was known to have a turbulent personal life. But despite once admitting to having up to 500 sexual partners over just 7 years, the tragic superstar only had a few true loves. In a rare interview in 2007, he revealed he had only really fallen for someone 3 times in his life, the first, when he was in his 20s. He described how this romance, which began at a Brazilian hotel, ended in tragedy in 1993 after his adored lover passed away from HIV. He also said he later subconsciously pushed himself into coming out as gay, something he wouldn't have done if his mum was still alive. Speaking to BBC Radio 4's Desert Island Discs, in September 2007, Michael revealed he met dress designer Anselmo Felipe in a hotel lobby in the early 90s. The singer, who sadly died aged 53 on Christmas Day, said, "I don't know if people will relate to this, but there have only been 3 times in my life that I've really fallen for anyone, and each time, on first sight, something has clicked in my head that told me I was going to know that person." And it happened with Anselmo across a lobby. He continued, "This was the first love of my entire life, this was the first person I ever shared my life with. It was tragic that I lost him. But it was a wonderful, wonderful experience meeting him." Michael, who was 27 when he began his relationship with Anselmo, said he knew within 6 months that his new partner was terminally ill. "It was a very strange first love," he told presenter Kirsty Young. "It was very distorted by the situation, but it was also a wonderful experience." Anselmo Felipe passed away in 1993 from an AIDS-related illness. Michael, who spent around 3 years grieving, said he believed his older Brazilian lover picked up the deadly disease in New York, US. He later wrote the #1 single, "Jesus to a Child," in tribute to him. Speaking to Kirsty, the superstar said he considered his successful album, Older, released in 1996, to be a beautiful reminder of Anselmo. He added of his first love's death, "I'd never want to feel that depth of emotion again. I hope he's very, very proud of it, the album, Somewhere." During the interview, Michael also revealed how, as a young man, he was having sex with women, while being fully aware that it was a lie. "I outed myself accidentally, but probably not accidentally," he said. Michael was forced to disclose his homosexuality and his relationship with American Kenny Goss after being arrested in Los Angeles, California, in 1998. His arrest, made in public toilets in Beverly Hills for engaging in a lewd act, followed years of speculation about Michael's sexuality. "I always knew it was going to happen sometime, I was going to get outed one way or another," he told Kirsty in the 2007 interview. "It took me a good year to admit to myself it was subconsciously deliberate." He added that the incident would never have happened if his mum had still been alive. "I would never have put myself in the stupid position of doing it in America where I knew the level of homophobia," the singer said. "I think for me to do that, I was absolutely tempting fate." He added that, after he had outed himself, he felt like a burden had been lifted, saying, "I'm not a liar, I'm too honest to dye my hair." Although Michael was in his 30s when his homosexuality became public knowledge, he had been out to a lot of people since the age of 19. During the interview, he revealed he had come out to his friends and one of his sisters as a teenager, but had been persuaded to keep it quiet. He said his pals, who were thinking of his dad, had told him it wasn't the best idea to publicly disclose his sexuality. AIDS was the predominant feature of being gay in the 80s and early 90s as far as any parent was concerned, Michael said. My mother was still alive and every single day would have been a nightmare for her thinking about what I might be subjected to. He finally told his mum, whom he deeply loved, he was gay the day after Aunt Selma's death. However, Michael told Kirsty he believed he would have been a happier man if he had publicly come out at 19, instead of more than a decade later. Before his death, the superstar admitted to previously developing a bit of a habit of cruising for sex with strangers, something he started doing as a teenager. He even once told Piers Morgan he'd had as many as 500 sexual partners over the course of 7 years, that's one every 5 days. The Wham! Singer and solo performer enjoyed a glittering chart career before he passed away, having sold more than 100 million records in the UK. His tracks included Careless Whisper and Faith. In October 2006, 8 years after his arrest in Los Angeles, Michael had another run-in with the law when he was found slumped over the wheel of his car. The following May, he pleaded guilty to driving while unfit through drugs and was banned from driving for 2 years. In 2008, the singer, who found fame as a teenager in the early 1980s after forming Wham with school pal Andrew Wrigley, entered a period of semi-retirement. Seeking a quieter life, out of the public eye, he quit live performances. But before long, he was once again in the glare when he was cautioned for possession of Class A drugs, which included crack cocaine, and Class C drugs. In September 2010, Michael received an 8-week prison sentence following an incident the previous July in which he crashed his Range Rover into a shop in North London. He was also given a 5-year driving ban after he pleaded guilty to driving under the influence of drugs and possessing cannabis. In 2011, he officially announced the ending of a turbulent 15-year relationship with Kenny, though he said that the pair had actually split around 2 years earlier. Michael had been looking to the future shortly before his death, with a documentary film entitled Freedom due for release next March. He died peacefully at his home over the festive period, the star's publicist announced on Christmas Day.